coming into your stillness in your comfortable seat. Lengthening through your spine, lifting your crown. You can place your fingertips gently on the earth to stabilize and ground you. Or you can bring your hands to your knees, palms face up, fold in your middle finger and bring your thumb to touch in Akash Mudra. The ether element is represented by the middle finger, and the thumb represents the fire element. So we'll come into this mudra today. We're working with our throat chakra, Visuddha Chakra or Visuddha Chakra. The element there is ether. So this is the fifth chakra that we're working with, and this is the fifth element. And the two chakras beyond this point aren't connected to any element. So we have the root chakra, Muladhara, associated with earth. The pelvic at the sacral area, here at the pelvis, is your Swadhisthana chakra, connected with the water element. At your solar plexus, just above your navel, is the Manipur chakra, connected to the element of fire. At your heart space, Anahatasana chakra, connected to the air element. And then here at the throat, connected to the ether element. So all these chakras here are connected with each of the elements that go up to make up our universe and us in different proportions. Become aware of your breath. Begin to notice the journey of your breath. And particularly today, pay attention to the breath as it passes through your throat. Notice the sensation of the breath as you inhale, the warmth of the air, if you're in a hot climate, or the coolness of the air if you're somewhere cooler. And notice how on the return journey, the return breath is a few degrees warmer. Notice what happens when you have a slight constriction at the back with your epiglottis. That changes the movement of the breath. It creates a constriction. You might notice the sound of your breath passing through your throat. Could be a humming sound, the sound of the ha sound, or the sound. This sound that emanates from this Visuddha Chakra at the throat is associated with the sense of sound, Shabda. Both the silence and the sound. And you'll probably notice how your breath is concentrated here around your throat space as you're thinking about this area. And now I invite you to draw the breath deeper down towards your heart space, down towards your solar plexus, even deeper down towards the Swadhisthana and the Muladhara, so that your breath travels all the way through each of these 5 chakras down to the earth chakra, to the root chakra, and the earth element. And when you exhale, again, notice the journey in reverse. From the root, traveling all the way to the length of your abdomen, your torso, your chest. Tracking the journey of each chakra out through your nose. So this breath is moving through all of your chakras, from the 5th down to the 1st, and then from the 1st all the way up to the 5th. A couple more breaths here. And you can take this opportunity to visualize the color of each chakra as you move your breath. Red at the root, orange at the pelvic area, yellow at the solar plexus, green at the heart, blue at the throat. So all this focus and attention on your breath, on your energetic chakras, those wheels, those vortex of energy, leaves very little room for your thoughts or for your mind to be distracted. And until I mentioned your mind or thoughts, you probably weren't even aware of them. Perhaps you were visualizing the color, visualizing the breath moving through your body, thinking about the elements and the chakras, that those elements are connected. One more full breath here. Let's release our hands from either from the earth or from our Akash Mudra and bring them to our heart space in Namaskar. Opening our practice by chanting Om, the primordial vibration. And today I want you to break up the sound of the Om. So Om is spelled A-U-M, and it actually has 4 sounds. A, U, M, and then silence. So those are the 4 components of the Om. So as you inhale, draw the breath right down into your belly. And here I want you to visualize and make the sound Ah. Then move the breath up into your chest. Ooh. To your throat. Mm. So it's Aum. Aum. With a silence at the end. So let's practice together 3 times. Inhale fully. Exhale completely through open mouth. Inhale to prepare. Aum. Inhale to prepare. Aum. Inhale to prepare. Aum. So as you practice Aum and you repeat this sensation of Ah, you'll gradually be able to do that in one smooth sound. Let's bring our fingertips back down to the earth. Place your left palm connecting solidly with the earth, and then drop your ear over towards the left so it comes towards your left shoulder. Now you can stay here, or you can take this right arm slightly out so that it's lifted off the earth. And then you notice how that changes the sensation along the length of your arm and your shoulder. Now, if that feels great, you can stay here. If you would like to add a little bit more, you can take your left hand to the outside of your left ear and then draw your right ear, and then draw your left ear more towards your left shoulder. So we're going to be working around the throat space today, connected with this 5th chakra, Visuddha. So these are centers of energy or vital life force. So we bring our bodies, our energetic and subtle emotional and mental bodies into harmony and balance by working on the chakras. One more here. And then release your left hand. Bring your fingertips back to the earth. Head back to neutral and then place the palm of your right on the earth and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. So you can stay here. Lift your left fingertips off the earth. So immediately you'll feel a different sensation in the side of your neck there. And if you want to add a little bit more to this, you can bring your right hand to the outside of your right ear and draw your right ear, more towards your right shoulder. One more here. And let's release with care back to center. Bring your fingertips to the earth. Walk your hands behind your back as far as they can go, drawing your shoulder blades together. So it really opens across your throat, your heart space. You lift your chin ever so slightly and take your gaze up towards the corner of the ceiling. You begin to open through your throat. Take a full breath here. And perhaps slightly constrict the area at the back of your throat so that we make an ujjayi breath. So as you inhale, you can hear an audible sound of your breath. As you exhale, ujjayi, you make another audible sound as if you're fogging up a mirror. One more here. And then release your chin down towards your throat. Walk your fingertips down to the front of the mat. And here you can walk your hands as far forward as you want so that you come into a sort of a little bow here. Your chin is tucked into your throat. And again, use your ujjayi breath, that constricted victory sound, victory breath, ocean sounding breath. Like when you fog up a mirror, you go, and you close your mouth, you make that same sound with your mouth closed. The breath is coming out of your nose. One more here. And then let's come back to center. Take a moment here. Reach out with your arms. Inhale up for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. When your hands reach up, interlace all your fingers and turn your palms to face the ceiling. And hold here, reaching up through your arms, feeling that stretch on the inside of your wrists here. One breath here. And then bring your arms forward. Turn your palms so they face you. Round through your back here. Really rounding deeply, tucking your chin, reaching forward through your hands. Your fingers are still interlaced. And then release your throat. Bring your hands back down to the earth. Take a moment one more time. Inhale up for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. When your hands reach parallel, interlace all your fingers and flip your palms up towards the sky. Hold here for a moment. As you exhale, bring your hands forward, flip your palms to face you. And bring perhaps your palms to touch. Tuck your chin, round through the back of your shoulders here. Open up between your shoulders. So you're creating this concave shape with your chest. And then let's release our hands one more time. Take your hands behind your back. Reach across your lower back with your right hand, your right forearm, so it's on your lower back, so your fingertips are sticking out here. Interlace all your fingers here. And then draw that right arm as far across your back towards the left as you can. So your fingers are interlaced here. So see how this feels here. Maybe try and let's see what happens when you tilt your head one way. So tilt your head towards the left. Check the sensation there. It will feel quite intense on the right. And then let's flip your head the other way. And then that's going to create a different sensation. The throat chakra, Visuddha Chakra, is connected to communication in health center. So listening, deep listening. Let's go the other way. Left arm goes across the back here and then interlace your fingers on this side. Again, really draw that left forearm across your lower back. And then let's drop our head towards one shoulder first. This is deep listening, speaking and expressing yourself with your own voice. So the sense is sound here, both spoken by oneself and sound spoken by others. Inhale, let's flip the head the other way. This is going to feel very different. You'll have less space here. And then back to center, release your hands. Open out your arms to the side. Inhale, draw your arms in front of you so that they're parallel. And then bend your elbows and take your right elbow underneath your left arm. Bring either your hands to your shoulders or backs of hands together, or wrap your right fingertips onto your left palm, coming into eagle arms here. Garudasana. Tuck your chin in here. You can stay here, or as you exhale, you can fold forward to bring your fingertips down towards the earth. So really engaging here, so our throat lock, Jalandhar Bandh here at the throat. We're containing and channeling the energy here. So we're stimulating the throat chakra to aid more authentic communication. So authentic self-expression, more honest and clear communication. Inhale, engage your navel by drawing it back towards the spine. Inhale, lift your hands, lift your elbows. Open your arms out wide. And then let's bring our arms back parallel, bend your elbows. This time, take your left elbow underneath your right. Again, hands can come to shoulders or backs of hands together, or wrap your left fingertips onto your right palm. Yogi's choice. Lift your elbows. You can stay here, or as you exhale, tuck your chin and fold forward. Take a moment here in Garudasana arms. So being able to connect with the resonance of our voice, of being able to express ourselves with confidence and truthfulness. Being able to listen openly, to seek to understand others and their truth. Inhale to rise up, uncross your arms. Let's take a moment here. Before we move on to our next pose, I'm just going to show you our mudra for the hand. So we have the thumb, middle and thumb touching, which is Akash Mudra. Akash means ether. But we're also doing different mudras today. So I'm going to show you the Vishud Mudra, the one that's associated with this element. So we interlace all our fingers very loosely. And then we keep our index and thumb loose. Then thread those through the opposite side and touch your thumb and corresponding index. So you create again that sort of interlocking infinity shape. So it's a little gentle fist with all your fingers, and you thread your index through to touch the thumb, the same hand. So you create a little infinity there. So this is the mudra associated with the throat chakra. So for meditation, you can be seated with this Vishud Mudra in your lap. You can also hold it at your throat space. Yogi's choice. Come into Vajrasana, so come onto your knees with your feet tucked underneath you. This doesn't feel comfortable. Remember, you can always bring a blanket underneath your knees or at your ankles so that you have some support and comfort there. You can always sit on a cushion between your feet and your sit bones. So interlace all your fingers loosely and then thread your index and thumb through each other so that they touch the corresponding index and thumb lightly touched, creating this little circle here. Visualize at your throat space a blue circle, any shade of blue, aquamarine, blue of the ocean, the blue of the night sky, pale blue or deep dark blue. Closing your eyes. So this is the yantra, the shape is a blue circle. There are 16 lotus petals here at the throat. So you can visualize a blue lotus flower. The mantra for the throat chakra is Om Jana. I speak my truth. We'll chant Om Jana 3 times. Inhale fully. Exhale completely through open mouth. Inhale to prepare. Om Jana, Om Jana, Om Jana. You can also chant, I speak with truth. I speak with clarity. I listen deeply to the truth of others. So your mantra can be a Vedic mantra or a mantra in English that you connect with. Could be your own prayer, anything that you wish to cultivate around the quality of communication, authenticity, self-expression. One more breath here. Then let's release our hands to the earth. Take your knees as wide as the mat here. Moving into lion's pose, simhasana, and breath. Place your hands so that your fingertips turn in towards you, so that the insides of your wrists are facing out. Now this might feel really unusual. This is not often a move we're coming to. If it feels really intense, keep the heels of your hands slightly lifted. You can always place a cushion here and then place your hands on a cushion. If it feels really difficult, then turn your fingertips so they point forward. So find this variation of your hand position. It's going to look very unusual. So here we are in lion's pose, simhasana. Going to take 3 lion breaths. And lion's breath is a loud, raw, out through open mouth. You poke out the tongue and you open your eyes wide so it looks pretty fearsome. And what we're doing is we're clearing and shifting and moving any stagnant energy, any blockages that prevent us from expressing our truth or from hearing others. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, poke out your tongue and make a raw sound. One more time. Inhale. This time, for the 3rd time, really let go of anything that you wish to let go of, any anger that you have, any negative emotions that you wish to express. Release them with your lion's breath. Inhale fully. Move your fingertips so that they face forward. Let's come onto all fours for cat-cow here. More gentle variation. If you need to rotate your wrists, because they might feel a little bit tender after that pose, which we're not usually doing. Inhale, lift your tailbone. Shine your heart, and today really focus on opening through your throat. So lift your gaze, open across your throat here. Imagine drops of honey moisturizing your throat. One breath here, then rounding through your tail all the way through, tucking your chin. Inhaling to open, to express. Exhaling to listen. to receive. Inhale. One more time, cat, to express, to communicate outwardly. And then exhale to round, to reflect, and to pay attention to inner dialogue. Back to neutral spine. Let's step forward with our right foot here between our hands. Maybe if you need to pad your left knee, pad your left knee. Inhale, low lunge. Take a moment here, make sure that you're grounded and rooted. Lift your gaze so it's parallel to the horizon. Take a moment here and then engage to lift your arms up to the sky. Open out wide here. Really open across your heart. Lift your gaze up towards the sky. Take a moment here. Now, let's dial your thumbs back, little fingers forward, and then reach for the space behind your neck here. Interlace all your fingers. Bring your thumbs round to the front so that you are cupping your head in your palms here. Open your elbows. Lift your gaze. And perhaps here you connect with Ujjayi breath, that constricted breath at the back of your throat. One more breath here. Release your fingers, reach up, dial your thumbs back, little fingers forward, and then exhale to the earth. Let's step back with your right foot now. Take a moment here, you might sway from side to side. Perhaps you turn to look towards your hip in a C shape and then back the other way. Back to neutral, and let's step forward with our left foot here. And again, connect with your low lunge here, your Chatakasana or Anjanyasana. So there's different names for this pose. Sometimes it's called horse pose and sometimes it's called crescent pose. So inhale to reach your fingertips up. Open wide first, lift your gaze. And then spiral your thumbs back, little fingers forward. Open across your heart, your throat. And then when you're ready, let's interlace your fingers behind your neck. Again, wrap your thumbs around the front so they're perhaps touching your collarbone. Your back of your skull is nestling in your palms here. Open your elbows, lift your gaze, and let's connect with Ujjayi breath, victory sounding breath. Constricting the back of the throat so that you sound as if you are the ocean. When you listen to a shell and you hear the ocean in your ears, this is the sound you're creating here. One more breath here. Releasing your interlaced fingers, reaching up, dialing your thumbs back, little fingers forward, and then exhale to the earth. Let's step back with our left foot. Again, coming back into neutral here. Take a moment here. We're going to move into heart melting pose, Anahatasana. Exhale, bring your left forearm to the air, followed by your right forearm. So here you are, your hips are stacked above your knees. Your shoulders are above your elbows. You can stay here. This is an option, because this might feel as if it's creating a back bend for you. You also have the option of sliding your elbow slightly forward. Only go as far as feels comfortable for you. And then you have the option of bringing your eyebrows centered to rest on the earth or your chin to rest on the earth. This is where a cushion might help bring up the earth towards your chin. or your eyebrow center. But find a variation that works for you. So having your chin on the earth or on a cushion can constrict the back of your throat, back of your neck, and it might feel too intense for your neck. Having your eyebrow center on the earth or cushion creates more length at the back of your neck. And so it might feel more sustainable depending on how your shoulders are. Your tailbone is reaching back. You're pressing through your finger pads. And notice how the breath has changed here. How the breath has shifted into the upper lungs. You almost naturally make a ujjayi sound here with your breath. One more here. From Anahatasana, melting heart pose, we're going to transition directly into Sphinx Pose. So lift your gaze. Bring your forearms directly onto the earth if they're a little bit lifted. And then slide your knees away, bringing your abdomen to the earth. Transitioning into Sphinx Pose here. So your forearms are parallel here. Your fingers are spread openly, or spread evenly. They're open so that you create this sort of spiral shape with your hands. Check out how your lower back feels here. If your lower back is fine, stay here. Sometimes moving your elbows forward or out to the sides creates a bit more space for your lower back. Find the variation that works here. For today, let's lift our gaze parallel to the horizon so that you feel an extension in the front of your throat. As you exhale, let's turn to look to the left. On your next inhale, turn to center with your head. On your next exhale, let's turn over to the right. And let's do this one more round. So back to center, and then with your breath, inhale in center, exhale to left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Take a moment here. From here we go back onto our knees, coming into this melting heart. You can stay here in melting heart. If you wish to, we can interlace our fingers and come into Dolphin Pose for a moment by coming up onto the balls of our feet and walking our feet slightly forward. So you're on your forearms, your hands are interlaced, your tailbone is reaching up. You're here on the balls of your feet. One breath here. Or you can be on your knees, melting heart variation. Yogi's choice. There's a space for all of us on this spectrum of yoga with regard to the physical practice. This is just one part of the challenge. One more breath here, whether you're in melting heart or dolphin. And wherever you are, let's all come on to our knees, take our sit bones back towards our heels and reach back with our arms, palms face up, coming into child's pose, Balasana. And here in Balasana, we're going to do another breath work, again around the throat, Brahmari breath, honeybee breath. You know this breath well. We use it very often in our practice. It's a honeybee breath. So we make a buzzing sound at the back of our throat. It's a vibrational sound, really vibrates the throat chakra, stimulates this ability to communicate with confidence, with openness, with trust, the ability to listen and to accept, hear difficult truths, hear comforting words, hear compliments, So this is really clearing the area, helping us tune in to those communications that we sometimes miss. So take a breath in through your nose, and as you exhale, gently part your lips, making a humming sound. So your lips here are gently parted. So you can feel a sensation of vibration on your lips as well. Most of the sensation is here around your throat, back of your ears. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Exhaling Brahmari. And as we like to do things in threes, one more Brahmari breath, really vibrating, allowing that sensation to stimulate the entire of your throat and head space. Inhale fully. Exhale Brahmari. Inhaling, lift your gaze. Come back onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes, move into mountain Pavatasana just for a moment. Perhaps you pedal here. And then let's walk to the top of our mats, coming into a forward fold here. Soften through your neck, your shoulders, your arms. Deep forward fold here. Perhaps you have a bend in your knees. Tailbone is reaching up. Perhaps your abdomen is resting on your thighs here. Take a moment. Bending into your knees. Inhale. Let's roll up. So draw your navel in and uncurl your spine one vertebrae at a time to come up to standing. And when you come to standing, let's take a moment here. Interlace all your fingers. We're going into our Vishud Mudra. So interlace all your fingers and then interlace your ring, your index and thumb to create this circle here. And then inhale to reach up. Taking a full breath here. Reach through your arms here to create length. Ground down through your feet. Take a moment and we're going to come into a gentle back bend. So begin to lift your chin, lift your gaze, reach back with your arms. So your pelvis and your hip bones are reaching forward. So this might be a very gentle back bend for you, or it might feel like a deeper back bend for you. Maintain the focus on your mudra. Notice how your breath feels here. One more breath. And then let's gradually return back to neutral spine. Bring your hands down towards your throat space. Allow that circle to rest at your throat for a moment. And then release your hands. Bend at your knees. Hinge from your waist. Come down so that your chest is parallel to the earth. Your arms are reaching back. Take your gaze to the top of your mat. So halfway lift here. The crown is long. The back of your neck is long here. Perhaps you have a deep bend in your knees, or perhaps you begin to extend your knees so that it's a less intense bend. One breath here. Release your hands to the earth. Take a moment, forward fold, soften here. Then inhale, bending into your knees, interlace your hands into your Vishud Mudra, and then reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart. Step back long with your right leg. Drop your heel onto the earth so that you create a 45-degree angle with your right leg. Left leg is pointing forward. Bend into your left knee. So check how your right foot feels here. Bend into your left knee here. spiral your hips, squaring your hips. Take them, reach up with your arm, thumb, little fingers forward. Then interlace your hands. Fingertips towards the sky, gentle back bend here. Open your throat. As you exhale, we're going to begin to hinge forward. So come as far forward as you wish. You might come to a horizontal, you might come parallel to the earth, or you might fold all the way down, bringing your fingertips down to the earth, so that you're in this humble variation of warrior here. One breath here. So here your left leg is engaged. You can really feel it. Let me turn around so you can see me. So you might be in different places with your arms. You could be sort of more upright, so you're at a diagonal. You could be more parallel to the earth, or you could be down towards the earth. So we're not seeming to do very much today, but I bet you're feeling it. So with that throat chakra, because it's all around here in our upper body, we're not necessarily wanting to create lots of movement. We want to come into a pose. We really want to focus that energy on our throat. Because what we want to do is have that reflective quality where we pause before we act. Places where we pause before we speak, where we take time to think about what we're going to say and do before doing it, so that we are truthful and honest with our responses, yet we are mindful of the impact on others. Inhale, wherever you are, rise up, gaze up towards the sky, gentle back bend, and then back to neutral. Uncross your arms, take a moment here, straighten through your left leg. Let's go the other way now. So just come into this wide-legged stance for a moment, and then turn your right toes and have your left toes at an angle here. Bend into your right knee. Turn your hips so that they're square to the front. Here you might take a wide stance here so you have lots of space for your hips to turn and face forward. This is the warrior one, Virabhadrasana variation. Take a moment here. Let's reach up with our arms. Thumbs pointing back, little fingers forward. And then let's interlace our hands behind our neck so that we're cupping the base of our skull in our palms. Thumbs are just wrapping around our neck. Elbows are open. Lift your gaze. Open your throat. Connect with your Ujjayi breath. Keep mindful energy reaching back to the outer edge of your left foot. One more breath here. Then releasing your hands, reach up with your arms, warrior one, parallel. And then this time, let's take our left arm. Try to remember, left arm under our right arm. Got to get it right. So your left arm is under your right arm. Your hands can come to shoulders here, backs of hands together, or wrap your left fingertips onto your right palm. Lift your elbows. And then carry on rising with your fingertips towards the sky so you come into a gentle back bend here. And then as you exhale, begin to reach forward and down. So stop where you feel comfortable. So you might stop here at this diagonal. You might come parallel to the earth, or you might bring your fingertips down towards the earth. Again, connect with your sense of calm, serenity, and purity. So when we are able to express our truth with kindness and empathy, we connect to a sense of serenity and calm. And when we speak with compassion to others and to ourselves, we connect with a sense of generous listening and generosity towards our feelings, so that we don't speak harshly or negatively, that we're mindful of our inner dialogue, we're mindful of our outer dialogue. One more breath here. Inhaling, engage your core and begin to rise up, to come back to upright, gentle back bend. And then let's return to neutral. Open your arms, turn your feet forward, take a moment here. So we're facing forward so that you can see me here. We're going to go one more direction. So we're going to move into extended side angle from here. So turn your left toes out, bend into your left knee here. Take a moment here. And then what I invite you to do is to bring your left forearm onto your left thigh. Again, folding your middle finger and thumb to touch. So you're in your Akash Mudra. Your right hand can be on your right hip here. Now spiral your heart and your gaze up towards the sky over there in that direction, towards the right. So that you have a turn in your neck here and at your throat. So this extended side angle, you might be happy here. You want to stay here. You might not be happy here at all. Kelly, I'm not happy here. If it feels too much, come up a little bit more upright, and then you can have a bit more of a restful pose here to come into your variation. What you want to do is you're creating work here around the throat. So come up more upright and then turn to gaze over to the right without putting too much pressure on your left leg. Now, if you're really super happy here, you can reach overhead with your right arm. Keep gazing to the right. So now your right fingertips are reaching up towards the left. Your gaze and turn of your head is towards the right. And you can stay here. And if you're really happy here and you want to extend it a little bit further, you can bring your left hand to a block. So this is Uttita Konasana. And if you're happy there, you can bring your left fingertips to the earth. So you'll be in various places here, everybody with the same intention. We're working here at our throat space. So our gaze is all over in the right. What your arms are doing, like we say, is a little bit of fancy yoga work. What we're focusing on is this turn in our head. One more breath here, whichever variation you're in. Inhale, begin to spiral your right arm back, straightening up through your left arm. Come into this warrior two for a moment, and then turn your left toes forward. Take a moment here. So again, you can take a moment here by interlacing your fingers, thumb and index, interlaced and creating this circle. That might give you a moment to rest. And then let's turn our right toes out, bend into our right knee. Our left foot is at a 45-degree angle. So again, here you can bring your right forearm to rest on your right thigh, folding your middle finger and touch with your thumb, coming into your Akash Mudra, left hand on left waist. And then spiral your heart and turn your gaze over to the left. And this might be where you stay today. Remember, you can always come up a little bit more if putting weight on your right leg feels too intense. If you're happy to move on, and come to a different place and a different sensation. Reach your left arm overhead. Keep gazing over to the right, over to the left, sorry. Your left fingertips are over to the right and your gaze is over to the left. And again, you have an option of reaching for a block or a low footstool. Your extended side angle. One more breath here. And then with care, spiral that left arm back so that you cartwheel it back and come up into warrior two for a moment. Straighten through your legs, turn your toes. Let's heel toe in. And then we're going to come down onto our knees. Bring our toes to touch, knees wide back into lion's pose. Simasana, remember you can use your blanket here to pad the back of your knees or to create a little cushion, whatever you need. And then let's bring our hands back into this pose where our fingertips turn in so that our inner wrists are out. And again, you can have something that's rolled up underneath your wrists so that the earth comes up towards your wrists so that you're not leaning so much forward into them. And let's do 3 lion's breath here. Inhale fully. Exhale, poke your tongue out. Open your eyes wide. Make a roar sound. And together, inhale fully. Exhale, Simasana breath. And one more. Inhale fully. Take a moment and let's turn your fingertips facing forward if they're not already. And let's come onto our knees. We're going to move into Ustrasana, Camel Pose. Again, make sure you've got your padding if you need your padding. You might want to place your feet on a cushion here so that your feet are a little bit lifted. And then come onto your knees here. And remember, you can place your blanket underneath your knees. Let's take our hands and place them round just above at our waist, just above our hips. And then roll your shoulder blades in towards each other. Bring your elbows together. Have your gaze parallel to the horizon here. Take a moment. And then begin to lift your gaze up towards the corner of the ceiling, towards the sky. Keep lots of space at the back of your neck here. So this might be just about right. Another option, and you can explore or stay where you are, is you can begin to reach back with your right fingertips towards your right heel. Keep your hips and pelvis forward, and if that feels fine, you can bring your other fingertips to find your heel. Maintain some distance at your neck here. Sometimes people throw their head right back here, but I think your head is too heavy to do that safely. So I'm going to invite you to keep your neck engaged and keep looking at that diagonal place where the ceiling meets the wall. One more breath here. If your hands aren't on your lower back already, bring them to your lower back with care. Begin to return your spine back to neutral. And then very gradually, you notice how slowly I move. Begin to take my sit bones back towards my heels. Bring my hands to the earth, and I can tuck my toes here. I rest the crown of my head gently on the earth, and I reach back for my heels with my hands. This creates generous opening in my lower back. I can always keep my hands planted on the earth next to my head for more support. Your chin is tucked in here. You're not putting any weight on your head. Literally, the hairs of your head are brushing the earth. And then when you're ready, let's untuck your toes, come back onto our heels. And now we're going to move into Matsyasana, fish pose. And this one, my dog's very hot. So for this pose, what I'm going to ask you to do is place your blanket. So you might have blocks. If you have blocks, use your blocks. I'm assuming no, you don't have your blocks. There's your blanket at your head. Take your cushion, sorry. If you have your blanket here, roll it up, create a little sausage and sort of place it sort of 2 hand distances between your cushion and your mat. What I want to do is the place where my bra strap is, so just here underneath where my shoulder blades are, I want to bring my shoulder blades to rest on the blanket and my head to rest on the cushion here. So I have a little bit of a heart opener and a little bit of a throat opener here. And I can extend my legs long here. So it's very gentle here. That's a supported Matsyasana variation. If you have blocks, you can always place a block like so. I'll show you the block variation. So that if you do have blocks, you know what to do with it. So you create this sort of T shape with a little gap between them. And again, I want the block to be between my shoulder blades here. And then my head rests on the other brick. And again, I open and extend my legs. So again, a heart opener, throat opener. So those are the supported variations. If you're like going, Callie, we don't have any of those shamanti props, cushions, blankets. We just have the earth. And what we're going to do is bend our knees, lift our sit bones and place our palms underneath our sit bones. And then bring our sit bones to rest on the backs of our hands. Extend your legs here. And then press into your palms, press into your forearms and lift your heart space. Have your chin tucked here for the moment. And release your head back down towards the earth. So you have a little bit of a doming effect in your heart space. The top of your crown is on the earth and your throat space is open. If it feels too intense to have your legs extended, you can always bring the soles of your feet onto the earth. Yogi's choice here. Or you can just lower your upper back to the earth so it's a bit more supported. What we're trying to create is a sensation of opening at our throat. You can always use your props here. So you'll be in your variation of fish pose, either directly on the earth or with your cushion and blanket or with your bricks if you have them available. And you'll find that the version with the blanket and the cushion is the most comfortable because that's a very gentle opening and you're fully supported. Let's take 3 breaths here. And not just any old breath. No, we're going to take Brahmari breath here. So honeybee breath here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, Brahmari. The sensation is going to feel very unusual when you do Brahmari breath in fish pose, Matsyasana. One more time, well, 2 more times, but let's do this one together. Inhale fully. Exhale, Brahmari. Final time. Inhale. Exhale, Brahmari. Take a moment here. Now, if you have your hands underneath your sit bones and you're propped up on your forearms like you're sunbathing, inhale, lift your chin and tuck it in, and then lower your back, and then release your hands slowly here, coming into Shavasana for a moment or two. Remove your blanket from underneath your upper back. Maybe you remove your cushion from underneath your head so you're here in Shavasana. So when we work with our throat chakra, Visuddha Chakra, we're inviting an upward energy, uplifting energy that is joyful and light. And when we bring that sense of joy and lightness, we're able to communicate more fully, more openly. We come from a place of truth and authenticity. Our words and actions align. One full breath here. And wash it out through open mouth. As you inhale, stretch out through your arms and legs. And as you exhale, hug in your knees with a gentle rock and roll. And then lift your eyebrows center to meet your knees. Coming into this Anahatasana. And then release your head back to the earth. Reach overhead with one arm, roll over onto your side. And come to your comfortable Sukhasana when you are ready. Bring your hands to your lap, your knees, thumb and index touching in Akash Mudra. Or maybe you create your interlace all your fingers and circle your index and thumb through each other in Vishud Mudra. Let's close our practice by chanting Om Jana 3 times and then Om Shanti. Inhale fully. Exhale completely through open mouth. Inhale to prepare. Om Jana. Om Jana. Om Jana. Om Shanti. 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 Dhanyavad. And thank you everyone for joining me in a really super cleansing practice. Thank you.